Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of the Chicago Vipers. In the first episode, we had quite a run. We built an outstanding team and won the World Series, and we're going to start this one off with some more dividends being paid from our decisions from the last episode. So, as you remember, we acquired a lot of draft picks in trades. We owned all but two of the first round draft picks. In addition to a whole lot of the second, third round, fourth round, and fifth rounders. And then, of course, we've got our own draft picks from there on out with a couple, I think, here and there, maybe, scattered out from other teams that we acquired. But the draft pool is not super overwhelming. Top overall prospect, Cy Bentley, only played one season in real life, which means that the ratings he's got here are likely going to be his ratings permanently because players do not retire when they retire historically. So Bentley will probably stick around for a while, being only 21 and all. We've also got other interesting pitcher here, Jim Britt. Paul Hines, for those of you who play Perfect Team, is an outstanding card. And for those who do not, he's going to be a player we've got our eyes on as well. Uh, he looks like he could be a decent hitter this year, and of course, we know he's going to add some defense later on. We know he's going to add a little bit of hitting later on as well. Jim O'Rourke is another player I'm interested in, but he's not. I guess he's pretty much top of our board. I'd say he's probably my number two prospect behind Cy Bentley to pick up here. We got a couple other players that we're interested in looking at here, and yeah, I will let you guys know for sure. Or I guess we're about to start the draft, so we're not going to be doing a review later. We're going to be taking all of these players now. So we have the first overall selection, and then we do not have the second overall selection, but then we pick for several rounds after that. So first overall, we're taking Cy Bentley. I'm pretty sure he's getting selected by the team going after us if we don't take him here. And I think the possibility of having this profile of pitcher, this guy who's so good, being around for so long is awesome. So I'm definitely going to select him. Let's see what. Oh, Jim O'Rourke goes second overall. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened, other than maybe Paul Hines. O'Rourke is probably not the same caliber of defender, but he has a lot of good hitting seasons. He plays all over the field. He's a great player. He's a great player. So instead, I think we're looking at Paul Hines for the second selection here. So we'll draft him. We also have the third pick. Jim Britt stands out as being a pretty interesting option. He also played 2 seasons and then never was seen again. He's another guy that I think would be able to retire with some really good ratings, and then we'd just be able to play out with those ratings existing and no player. Well, we would still have the player, but we just wouldn't have any risk of his ratings declining. All right. I'm honestly not sure who to draft here, so I'm going to take a look at our options and then get back to you guys on that one. I just found a really awesome player, Candy Cummings. He is actually the person that invented the curveball in real life. He didn't play for too long, but he had a successful career for several years. He could be an outstanding pitcher. Definitely the type of guy we want to have on our roster. And look at this season he had in his first year, 2.52 ERA for a 2.15 ERA plus and nearly 15 WAR. That is awesome. I really love Candy Cummings. I think that's an awesome pick. It looks like Jim Holdsworth will be selected with the next pick. He didn't have a great career, negative WAR. So I'm going to be once again looking for some guys to select here with our next pick. All right, we don't really have any players left in the draft, and I mean none at this point that had like good careers. So I'm going to be drafting players that I think could help us at this point. Now, Candy Nelson is actually more of a hybrid. He has a pretty long career despite really bad hitting and still manages to put up a positive career WAR. Now, what this tells me is he probably was a really good fielder. So I'm going to look at his ratings going forwards defensively, and we'll see if he turns into anything. He's also really versatile, and he bats left-handed, which are desirable traits. Hopefully we can get something out of him. And yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Our next selection, I think, is going to be one of these catchers. No, it's a center fielder. I have him shortlisted. Jack Remsen. So He hits a little bit. His loyalty and greed are both good, but most importantly, look at the defense. He has 70 outfield range, which is 10 more than any other center fielder or just any player here. Nobody in the league has as good defense in center, or probably anywhere, honestly, as Jack Remsen. Should have no problem winning the Gold Glove, and he is definitely a big upgrade for our team over what we currently have. I'm going to take another look at everybody, but I'm pretty sure we're going to take Yu O'Rourke and then look at possibly grabbing some more pitching. Yeah, that's exactly what we were going to do here. We've got two good pitchers left in this draft, and just in case of injury, plus the fact that having a pitching monopoly at this point in time is literally possible, and I imagine would be quite powerful, is going to drive me to select both of the remaining pitchers. We're going to have to take a look at who got selected while we were taking those pitchers, and then I'm going to make our next pick. So we had John Clapp, who was a decent catcher. I was looking at possibly drafting him. Jim Clinton, I was also looking at him. Then we took Frank Buttery, Nat Hicks, another catcher. Jack Burdock, not a bad selection. He played for a very long time, had one good year. Tom Barlow. So we're going to take another look at the prospects that left in the draft here, and I'll make a decision on that. We're going to take Eddie Booth here. This is a player that has a couple of really good hitting years to start off. So 1872 and 1873 are pretty good for him. Hopefully he can replicate that with us. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know who else to take. I was looking at Oscar Bielewski, mostly for his personality. And I think we're going to draft one more player, and then honestly, auto drafting is fine. I don't care what happens with the rest of these players. None of them are particularly important. All right, we're going to take this guy and this guy and maybe this guy. Yeah, we'll take that guy. Oh, okay, we have the next selection here. I'm pretty sure we're just going to auto draft. I think we'll take the Ham Allen guy. Let's see what our scouting director wants us to do. He wants us to take Jim Hall, second baseman. Oh boy, he did really well in 3 plate appearances. All right, we're going to auto draft. And let's see what our draftees want. Man, everybody wants a lot of money. So we are going to meet Cy Bentley's bonus demand and Paul Hines. We'll just meet all of these, I think. I'm pretty sure we can afford it. What? What? I'm pretty sure that number is positive, which means we've got money to spend. Oh, we don't have that much money is the problem. Great. Okay, we may actually be taking some compensation picks, but I do really want to sign Jim Britt, Candy Cummings, etc. Candy Cummings only wants $10. That is absolutely doable. I want to get Candy Nelson. I want to get our top guys signed. And I want to get guys like Jack Remsen signed. The cheap players are probably also doable. We could take compensation picks for most everybody else, though. And 1 second, I just had my mouse fall and break, so that happened. I'm gonna get myself fixed here and then get back to you guys. Hey guys, so I just made a trade real quick that I accidentally did not unpause for. I guess I accidentally missed the button or something. But basically what we've got here is we sent a couple of outfielders, just George Bechtel and Andy Leonard, to Cleveland. They weren't huge on our team. And our return was awesome. We got Steve King, who's going to basically replace them. He's one of the best run producers in the game, outstanding contact abilities. We're getting first baseman Tom Pratt, third baseman Bill Barrett, and right fielder Bill Kelly, who are all just guys that they wanted to dump. And we took 100% retained just to add value to our side of the trade. And we're also getting their pitcher, George Zettelin. I think he's an outstanding acquisition. He led the league in strikeouts and wins. He's got a few awesome years coming up, as you could see in the 1872, 1873, 1874, and on. Honestly, he just raked in these years, putting up ridiculous seasons. So I think he's an outstanding acquisition for us. We'll see. We also got their first second round draft picks of $52 in cash. So that trade improved our team, our money situation a lot. I'm going to probably make a couple more of those, and I will probably be there next. We're giving up a couple of big pieces here. Joe McDermott is a pitcher. He's not a super good one, and he is a reliever, but he is still a nice pitcher, center field backup type guy. And John Bass, who you will remember was our premier slugger last season, actually hit quite a few home runs relative to the league and a lot of doubles and, well, mostly just triples. But his OPS was sky high, led the league in OPS and slugging percentage. But his real life stats are really terrible after this season. He only plays a handful of games, and I expect that he will regress before he retires and the game engine takes over. Now, these two players I view as expendable. Ooh, 1 second, I just realized we've got $100 in here that I do not want to include on our end. So, yeah, anyways, I view both of these players as expendable, even though they have been pretty good for our teams overall. So I think we'll get more out of the guy that we're getting in return, and primarily Levi Myrtle, something like that. He had an outstanding 1871, which is why his ratings are so ridiculous, and he's got a couple of good years ahead as well. The 1872 through 1874 are among the best in the league. His 1875, 1876, and 1877 aren't bad either. And then after that, he just disappears until he's 34 several years later. So we should be able to get some really good things out of him. Once again, we're taking on some players just for the sake of the engine, not liking them for whatever reason. We're also getting their first 3 round selections next year and 150 bucks. I like it. I think we get a lot of stuff in the trade, and I'll get back to you with the next one. All right, this trade is improving our cash, but this is probably the first one that I made that is not strictly about that. Now, Dave Egler is the second rangiest center fielder in the league behind the guy we drafted this year, and he's also a really good hitter. So he is probably the best center fielder in the game. We're also adding, again, a group of players that are just here for the sake of lessening the trade cost. And we're getting a first rounder for basically Ned Connor, Bill Barrett, and a fifth rounder. Uh, the move does improve our cash because we're not retaining John Glenn's contract, but we are getting Egler, Phelps, and White's retained. And I'm really liking the return. I think this was one that actually benefits our team directly. And look at that number. We're now above $1,000 available in cash. So I'm still going to explore some more trades, but I think I'm going to look at our bonuses first. All right, what I've decided here is we are going to sign these top players to contracts, and I am going to let these bottom guys go unsigned. So we're going to take our compensation picks for the guys in the second and third rounds, mostly third rounds, and that'll give us a little bit more to work with in the next year draft. So I'm going to put the team together and sim up to the preseason, so that'll be where we pick it back up. All right, I actually lied. I've found another trade here, and I'm probably going to look at some more. So we're essentially taking on 5 terrible players and giving them one of our own in exchange for their first 5 draft picks. This is the Philadelphia Athletics. We're also getting $350 in the trade, so I think it's just a general win for us. I'm liking the deal. I think we're definitely adding to our team here. I hope that we can acquire every single first round draft pick, which is what I'm doing right now. So we're guaranteed all the top players next year. So I'm going to try to get all the rest, and we'll see what I can do here. Well, the Rochester Forest Cities are not too inclined to trade their draft picks, so we're actually going to have to send them a decent player in Warren White and take on 5 bad players, and we're only getting their first rounder. This actually drops our total available money, but again, I want to make sure we have all the first round draft picks, a guarantee of an elite player in next year's draft, so I'm going to make it happen here, and I'll see who else I can get here going into the regular season. All right, in this one, we are acquiring a first round draft pick and a top pitcher in Al Spalding, one of the best from this era until he retired in 1877. So, Cy Young winner actually in the previous season. He's going to be a nice addition to our staff. We'll be giving the Haymakers, Everett Mills, one of our better first basemen. This kind of stings, but again, it's the return that you really just can't afford to go without. And we're also sending them our third and eighth round draft picks for their first rounder. So we will be picking up a super talented player and hopefully using that pick to grab another really good one in the draft next year. So I think we got 1 or 2 more teams to grab the first rounders of. I'm going to get that going and then we will hit the season. Okay, we are adding the Washington Olympics first round draft pick for next year. In addition to Bob Addy, who is a player I actually like quite a bit, and we will be receiving their third rounder as well. We will be giving up Al Barker. He doesn't look good at all. And we're going to get $75 on the trade, so overall, just a nice little positive. I think we've got one more team to check, so I will get on that, and that should be it. This one is huge. With the Red Stockings here, we are going to be sending over Denny Mack, who is one of the better hitters in the league. He had an outstanding year in on-base percentage for us. Also one of the better base stealers out there, but he kind of drops off after a few seasons. We see here that he stops walking so much, he stops hitting for such a high batting average, and he kind of becomes useless. And on the other hand, we are going to be getting Cal McVeigh, who is one of the most exciting hitters of this era. He also notably plays catcher and corner outfield spots, it seems, as well. He also has some pitching ability, so that could be useful going forwards. We're going to be picking up their first and second rounders, and nice additions here all around. I'm loving it. So I believe that is it. I'm going to double check, and you'll either see another trade next or the beginning of the preseason. All right, it's time for the preseason, and we've got our roster together. So we are going to be starting Deacon White at catcher. He will be returning. He led the league in WAR last year, won a Gold Glove and Silver Slugger at the position. Great batting profile. We will be backing him up with Cal McVeigh, who was a big acquisition from the Red Stockings. We've got Levi Myrtle, who I'm not sure. I honestly don't know where I was thinking we'd play him, but he will end up at first base on account of being taller than Cap Anson because they have the exact same ratings defensively. Ross Barnes will return as our second baseman. The reigning MVP looks like he's poised for another great year. Now a fan favorite. Cap Anson will play third base. He's coming off a Gold Glove year. Great hitter as well, so we'll see what he's got in store. Bill Lennon, who was on our reserve roster, will man shortstop. He was coming off a Gold Glove himself with the I believe the Philadelphia Athletics, yes. But he won his at catcher, so that would be the AL catcher Gold Glove. He's going to try to win one at shortstop this year. I mostly selected him for his defense and his personality. His versatility is nice to have as well. Steve King will be our left fielder. He is a really good hitter for this era. Outstanding gap and BABIP, which will essentially just allow him to hit a lot of balls in play for a high average and lots of gap power too. Dave Egler will be our starting center fielder opening day. And I'm going to say opening day because we've got that first rounder with really good range that I'm eyeballing as a potential center field option as well. Now, Egler's no poser defensively himself. He won the first ever center field Gold Glove. He's also a great hitter, another great batting average profile. We're going to run Riney Walters once again in right field. He is coming off a great year offensively, 324 with an outstanding on-base percentage. Hoping to get even more this season. And he will also be one of our relievers as the premier two-way player in the league at this moment. Great player. So our backups are going to be, as I was saying earlier, Cal McVeigh. We've got Charles Bierman, who's literally just here to be a leader. Candy Nelson is one of our first-round draft picks. He's got a solid batting profile, and we're going to get his career going. Charlie Pabor was good on the team. He was not actually played on the team last year, but he has a pretty good hitting profile overall. I'm confident that he could be a decent hitter. He's got a really good personality as well. He's a spark plug, so he will be backing up left field. And Eddie Booth will be our last utility guy. He's just filling in all the holes where we've got him. Adaptability and work ethic. A decent hitter overall. Now, I'm going to be trimming a little bit more of the fat on the reserve roster. I released several guys on the active roster. And the noble thing is we've got a ridiculous amount of pitching depth. Cy Bentley would be in contention for the Cy Young Award if he was on our roster. Jim Britt is another outstanding pitcher. Candy Cummings, he's great. George Settlin, he's coming off a really good year. We've got Frank Fleet, who just won the reliever of the year. Also the Silver Slugger, notably. Yu O'Rourke, another good reliever. So all these guys are outstanding, but we only need 3 pitchers. We've got 3 pitchers. I don't think Riney Walters is going to see a single inning of play at pitcher. I think it's going to be all Bobby Matthews and Al Spalding. And actually, Bobby Matthews, his ratings aren't looking too good heading into this year. He didn't have the most dominant season. It looks like his real run is going to start next season. So we might actually pull our ace pitcher who just won, or he didn't win the Cy Young, but he led the league in WAR. We might actually pull Matthews for a different pitcher. So we're going to have to see about that. But yeah, I think we've got a strong team. We should be poised for an easy World Series run. The depth is ridiculous. We got plenty of guys who are capable of starting on most teams. So we're going to quickly simulate. Well, I'm going to cut off guys that I think are not good enough to stick with the team, that are going to provide no value, just useless players. Maybe we'll make a trade, but I don't think so. And then we're going to start simulating through the preseason and see how we do. All right, I've released a handful of players on our reserve roster that I think have absolutely no value. I'll likely do that process again at the end of the season so we don't have to pay them next year. Now, I did actually end up pulling Bobby Matthews, future Hall of Famer Bobby Matthews, from our rotation. Al Spalding will be getting the starts for us instead. He's got ridiculous amounts of control, which is really the big thing you're looking for in these dead ball era pitchers, is the control, because you're hardly going to see any home runs and you're hardly going to see any strikeouts. Those two things make minimal differences, but there are a couple of guys who will draw walks, so having Al Spalding in our rotation should help with that. Now, notably, he's also a really good hitter, which is actually something you want from your pitchers since they are going to get a lot of at-bats. Now, with this in mind, I'm actually going to go to our lineup and drop Bill Lennon to 9th in our order because Al Spalding is a better hitter than he is. I'm also tempted to drop Dave Egler, and I actually will drop Dave Egler. So Al Spalding will be batting 7th in our lineup because he is such a good hitter. Ideally, we can get a great year from him and win some more games. So I think we're going to start simulating through spring training, see how our team does, and then get on to the regular season. So I'm not going to pause for that because simulations are lightning fast at this point in time with no history to worry about. So I'm going to simulate up to spring training, which should take about a second. And as we see here, we're getting lots of compensation picks and lots of players that we didn't care about that we're not getting compensation picks for. Those are guys I just didn't want to pay. All right, and we're at spring training, so let's see how we'll do. Ooh, Harry Wright. Oh, Harry Wright leads the league in intentional walks. That's funny. Dave Egler is second, and Ross Barnes is third. That's not a surprise. Ross Barnes is a very dangerous hitter, led the league in on-base percentage. All right, how will we do in spring training? 4-0, that's good news. So Spalding drops his stamina, I think? Yeah, that's not a big concern. Deacon White did indeed lose some hitting ratings. Cap Anson also lost some current ratings. This was This was a really good year for Anson, so I'm honestly not sure why he's losing his hitting ratings. Dave Egler loses speed but gains defense. I'll take that trade-off any day. And Riney Wolters adds to his eye. That'll be nice. Hopefully that can contribute to some big regular season success with the walks. He now has a pretty good eye. And we are not undefeated anymore, but we were basically undefeated through spring training. A 900 record is insane. Cal McVeigh going up. That's good. He might actually be worth platooning with Deacon White now with his ratings. He looks like he would crush lefties. Levi Myrtle also goes up. He loses a little contact but adds elsewhere. Ross Barnes loses speed but adds defense, which is, again, a trade I would take any day of the week. Charlie Pabor just going way up, so that's great news for him. Steve King, not much change. So Jim O'Rourke is now the #1 prospect in baseball. I might look at acquiring him. He is a really good hitter, one of the better hitters from this era. So I'm going to figure out what we're going to do with our catcher situation and also figure out maybe acquiring some of these upper tier prospects. Yeah, I'll do that. I was unable to acquire O'Rourke at the moment, but I am going to platoon White and McVeigh. I don't even know how many left-handed pitchers there are at this point, but if we happen to face one, McVeigh will be getting the start. And outside of that, we are ready to start going through the regular season. Let's just take a look at the preseason predictions, see how we're supposed to do. Wait, what, 25 games? 25 games this year? 18-7, not too shabby. A 195 team ERA. This is really strange. What? Is this really a 25 game season? Yeah, it looks like it is. That is very odd. Huh. Okay, well, that is strange. I'm gonna look into this, but we are just gonna have to go with it right now. Jim O'Rourke is still the #1 prospect, but Cy Bentley clocking in #2. Jim Britt #3. No surprise to see our top pitchers. Paul Hines at #4 is nice as well. He could crack the roster at some point this year. Candy Nelson as well. He's having a nice year and yet still negative WAR somehow. Bill Stearns is on personal leave. That could make him easier to trade for. Yeah, I guess not. It was worth a try. Okay, well, let's see how the team's doing. Steve King is raking, but I still don't see how we are doing so bad relative to the first place team. We should be doing better. I'm definitely going to look into the issue with 25 games. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to play more than that. So, yeah, we are now in first, though, and I believe it's the trade deadline. Yeah. I don't think we've got any moves to make. Our team is definitely set. All Spalding is having a great year. Cy Bentley, dominant as well in relief. Or is he starting? Yeah, Spalding is starting. He's been outstanding, and Bentley has too. So, well, let's finish this one up. Oh, rosters have expanded. Except, wait, what? 40 players? Yeah, we don't need 40 players on our roster. We're going to leave it at 15. Candy Nelson losing a lot of ratings. Bob Addy losing a lot as well. And Cy Bentley loses some. Bobby Matthews just tanking there. I think that's just catching up with what we already saw. Yeah, Cy Bentley should win Rookie of the Year without any kind of problem. Yeah, he won the Triple Crown. That's impressive. He led the league in strikeouts with 24. Leads the league in ERA at a 193, first sub 200 ERA of all time Leads the league in wins, games started, innings pitched, strikeouts, whip, home run rate, BABIP, WAR, everything. He didn't give up a single home run all year, only allowed 1 walk. You can't do much better than that. And yeah, what the heck happened? I think I'm gonna actually have to. I was dreading this because it means that I'm gonna have to reset the team every year, but enable historical expansion and contraction, or not every year, but I'll have to reset the team periodically when franchises change. Anyways, Levi Mayerl finishes the team with the league lead in WAR, actually, a league lead in slugging and OPS as well. An impressive season. Cap Anson, Riney Walters, Steve King, Levi Mayerl, and Deacon White all hit above 400. Ross Barnes with a really disappointing season, actually. That seems like really bad luck, but man, what a year from some of our top guys. I want to check Cap Anson's stats. Did he actually only play? Yeah, this was like a 45 game season. So that I will investigate. It should not have been like that. Yeah, Spalding should win Triple Crown, ERA, etc. He is going to win everything. Dick Hidman batted 477. Pretty impressive. All right. Well, let's play the playoffs here. Playoff coverage. We will be playing the Philadelphia Athletics in the World Series this season. We beat them 12-1 in Game 1. 14-2 in Game 2. Yeah, all Spalding is just too much for them to handle, I think. 9-5 in Game 3, so they actually made that one closer. All right, and we'll play this one manually. All right, Spalding is rearing to go. I think we're going to switch to a 2-man rotation for next year. Maybe even more than that. And let's get this one heading on. Oops, just realized game sound is off. And there we go. So let's see how this one goes. Ross Barnes leads it off. Full count to our second baseman, last year's MVP. Fly ball to center field is caught on a rangy play by Scott Hastings out there. Pretty good player. Cap Anson up now. He was one of our several 400 hitters. I think half our lineup hit 400. I wonder how well I was spotting it. And that is the first hit of the game. Cap Anson into center field for a single. Riney Walters. And he grounds it to the first baseman. They try to turn the double play, but are not fast enough. Riney Walters beats it out with his blazing 20-grade speed. Cal McVeigh at the plate, 0-1 count. Ground ball to short, and this could be a double play. Oh, never mind. There were 2 outs. That'll end the inning. Scott Hastings will lead off against Spalding, and Spalding pitches a clean inning. Steve King, well, he doesn't pitch a clean inning, but nobody gets to second base. And King grounds out to start this one off. Levi Mayerl up. Wow, McMullen's not even that good. I don't know why we're struggling so badly to hit him. We'll have to see if we can do better. 0-1, grounded to the pitcher, and he is thrown out. Al Spalding, the pitcher, up to bat. Let's see if he can't pull off some magic for us. 1-1, grounded to the shortstop, and it's bounced off his glove. That'll be an error, and Spalding reaches base. All right, Dave Egler to the shortstop, and a nice play to retire Egler to end the inning. Oh, dear. All right, let's hope we can get Dickie Pierce here. Grounded to the third baseman, Anson, and he bobbles it for an error. A costly error. A run could have been prevented on that play, but Anson blew it. Could be a potential double play here. And Ross Barnes, I think, botched that one. Back-to-back errors are really hurting us here. John McMullen steps into bat. Full count. ground ball to the shortstop. They get one, and that'll be it. Barnes cannot turn the double play. All right, let's see how we can do against Hastings. 0-1, grounded. It's past the shortstop into left field, and that'll score a run. The Philadelphia Athletics add to their lead here. It's been a rough inning for the pitcher. Ground ball to first, and that'll end it. 2 unearned runs on Spalding there. All right, I'm going to do runners in scoring position for us. Ross Barnes doubles, and we got Cap Anson up. I'm going to run and hit. Cap Anson sends a fly ball to deep center. Not going to be deep enough, and Ross Barnes will have to hold. Riney Wolters stands in. Ross Barnes trying to steal second, and he is safe. We've got Riney Wolters, full count. Grounded to the third baseman and thrown out. Leadoff double for the Athletics. Fly ball to center will be an easy play. Schaefer is up. Grounded to the shortstop and thrown out. Gedney is here now. 0-2. Fly ball to right, and that'll end the inning. All right, Levi Myrel with a triple, and Al Spalding, the pitcher, is up. He singled his first time. Fly ball to center, and it is caught. He can't help himself out. Spalding goes clean there, as does the A's pitcher to match. Once again, Spalding with a clean inning, and Steve King is on second base for Levi Myrel. Oh, we scored a run, actually, so it looks like Steve King must have doubled a runner in from first. And Myrel is intentionally walked to get to the pitcher, Al Spalding, who hits very well. So that was kind of a questionable move. Full count is lined into left and caught to end the inning. But we do cut the gap slightly. Now only a 1-run lead for the Athletics. Spalding with another clean inning. McMullen quickly in danger. Runners on the corners for Ross Barnes. 2-2. Fly ball to right field. Drifting foul. And bobbled. Now it's a full count to Barnes here. He gets a second chance. He does not waste it. That's drilled in the left field for the tying run. Ross Barnes. Cap Anson steps in now. Full count to Anson. He draws a walk. Riney Wolters. Dangerous hitter. 0-1 count. Grounded to the shortstop. They will throw out the runner at home plate. Cal McVeigh. Drilled to center, and an outstanding, unrealistic catch by Scott Hastings will save several runs. Steve King is up now, and he splits the left center gap. That's going to score a run, maybe 2. King will be into second with extra bases, and 2 runs score on the play. Levi Myrel, 1-1, looking to add on to the lead. And that is dropped into left field for a single. I think we are going to let this be for now and give Spalding the chance to hit. Full count to him. And he draws a walk. Nice job by Spalding. Dave Egler is in. Full count to him. That's going to split the right center gap, and Dave Egler will probably clear the bases with a double. That might only have been 2. Yep, the bases are cleared by the double. And we have a massive lead now. Bill Lennon now. And that is a ground ball to the pitcher, thrown to first for the out. All right, let's see how Spalding does. Clean inning for Spalding. Cap Anson triples. Riney Wolters up. Passed ball will score Anson. Riney Wolters, can he draw a walk? He does. And we do not get a runner into scoring position there. But Tom Carey reaches for the A's. Threatening here. Harry Schaefer up 1-2. That's a fly ball to right field, and it should end the inning. Yep, it is caught, and that's it. Levi Myrel at second base. It looks like he singled, and then we had a ground out from Spalding. All right, let's see how Egler does. Or maybe a pass ball because it was a 1-0 count. Fly ball to center is going to be caught. Bill Lennon. Grounder to the second baseman, and this should end the inning. All right, let's have Al Spalding close out this World Series. Count Gedney up, 1-0 count. Grounded to the second baseman, and that'll end it. Dickie Pierce, 0-2 count. Can Spalding record a K? Nope, he hits him instead. Tom Foley, 2-2. Passed ball, and that was going to advance the runner to second. Full count now to Tom Foley. Ground ball to the shortstop. It's a slow grounder, but Foley is even slower. Bill Yeatman. Okay, Bill Yeatman stands in it to face Al Spalding. 1-1 count. Ground ball to the second baseman and is bobbled by Barnes. The game-winning play is botched. That brings up Scott Hastings, and now we've got bigger fish to fry. Ground ball to Anson, and he does not make the same mistake. Cap Anson wins us the World Series with a non-errorless play. And after falling a little bit behind, we spike back with a big inning and a strong performance by Al Spalding. No earned runs through 9 innings, only 5 hits, gets us the victory. We sweep the Athletics in the World Series, and that will be it for this one. So I'm going to figure out the issue with the scheduling. I will likely have to re-enable historical expansion / contraction, which means that we're going to have to reset the team periodically, which is fine. I'm just going to quickly pull up the transactions page. So if that does happen, I will be able to pretty easily reacquire all of these players. I'm also going to take a screenshot of this later after I've released a whole bunch of the garbage guys from the reserve roster. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this one. Another fun episode, and we're going to have more coming for you guys with the 1873 season and the 1872 draft. So we'll see what kinds of players we can add to our team and if we can't win another World Series. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the next one.